Now may the Lord bless you and keep you. May the Lord make his face to shine upon you and be gracious unto you. And may God give to you his peace in your going out and in your coming in your lying down and in your rising up, in your labor and in your leisure, in your laughter and in your tears, until you come to stand before Jesus in that day in which there is no sunset and no dawn.
Friday, October 16th. In this place, she will make arrangements for Saratoga Gaming and Raceway next year. The October 27th trip is canceled as not enough people were signed up. Monies will be reimbursed to those who have paid. Some members have expressed an interest in taking a trip to Washington, D.C.
The balance at the end of September was
$640.
$2,655.88. I collected $40 from the 50-50 raffle, $56 from dues, $647 from the sale of the baskets, and $75 for the Christmas parties. The total deposit was $818. I wrote 2 checks, one to Connie for $27.02 and one to the Claremont Firehouse for $75. The balance at the end of September was $2,655.88 plus a deposit of $818. That gave us a total of $3,473.88 minus the checks written of $102.02. The balance in our checkbook as of right now is $3,371.86, plus we have a CD of $2,876.03.
The reservations,
you don't back yourself into a corner and you try to, go to safety as soon as you can. Also, too, he just recently suggested to me that if you have grandchildren and children, and because there are many bears now in New York State, apparently they're swimming across the river from Ulster County, and you need to share with the children and the grandchildren how to remove themselves from the area if there is a bear. I now have a bear belt, a brass Canadian bear belt, and believe it or not, the Canadian Mounties use bear bells, and in the Adirondack Mountains, they hook them to their belt loops, because the bells to actually help in that scenario. So, but I thought you might want to know that the bears are moving and they're in the area. And if you haven't seen one, that doesn't necessarily mean that there isn't one. So I wanted to share that with you.
I feed them peanut butter sandwiches. They love them.
That's tough, because that was one of the things that we don't read. Okay?
just out of curiosity, how many have had or seen bears in their area? Yeah. Hands
How
go
many?
up.
2, 3?
They are definitely around. Okay.
I love teddy bears.
Now we're going to close the meeting.
Well, that's cute.
And I'm going to tell you that worry is like a rocking chair. It gives you something to do, but it won't get you anywhere. Okay, now, we'll need a few minutes to everybody to put their food out.
Let me get a video of it.
Tables are 1, where Carmela is, 2, where Barbara, 3, 4, and the one across the wall is 5. I've got the numbers upside down here. I've been mixing them up. I don't know which one is which.
Which one is the dessert?
But in a few minutes, 3 will be the first one. But please wait till everybody has put their food out.
What do we laugh? taking pictures?
You betcha. I love to look at food.
We all love our food. Whoops.
Hi, Joanne.
You said your children saw me on TV?
Yes, my children, Dave and John, saw you on TV in the 50s, and they loved you.
Oh, that's wonderful. And what town?
Down in Livingston.
I didn't hear you, I'm sorry.
Livingston.
Oh, in Livingston?
Yes.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yes.
Those were the good old days.
Yes.
They came home from school and watched it, right?
Right. Freihoffer, and they did the Squiggles, and they really loved you too.
And what's their names?
David and John Hedden.
Spell it for me.
Hedin. David and John.
Heading?
Hedden. Hedin.
Hedin?
Yes.
Oh, that's nice. And are you Mrs. Hedden?
Yes.
And thank you, Mrs. Hedden. And where do you live now? What town?
In Livingston.
In Livingston, all those years.
All those years.
Oh, you thrilled us. Thank you.
You're welcome.
But he grew up with two.
You got your tripod, pod, so get the money off the table.
Take a picture.
What game is it? Peanut. This is going home to the raccoons. Pinochle. I can see your hand.
Over there in the corner.
And so we say goodbye to the party. It was lovely. Thank you, James Storms.
You're welcome.
Thank you, all you people having fun. And they get out the cards. When they start playing cards. I think it's a wonderful thing, the seniors.
It is.
Goodbye, everybody. Now we're going back to Route 9G. You're going the way you came?
Does lots of charity work, helping people. He's always donates his.
There it is. Now this is what kill?
The Roloff Jensen kill.
Hey, now folks, this is the steeple for St. John's. I can't get all of it. But my friend, Kirk Dixon, works there and does maintenance. And they asked him to go all the way up that steeple. And he found dead birds and bats. And to clean it up. And it was interesting how you go up. You go up in increments of 10 steps. Way up to the top. See, there's little windows in there, and that's how the birds and bats got in there. And this is St. John's Lutheran Church, and you remember I videotaped for you, it's a Requiem when they closed it down. Isn't it sad? This is the county clerk's office, and I came to interview Holly Tanner, and she's not in today, but someday we'll tell you boys and girls how to grow up and be a county clerk. No, this is not good for the lens. Brian and Lori have opened a, it's not exactly a lunch counter, but you can get sandwiches pre-made and put them in the oven. And it's a little bit like having a health food counter. Can I buy anything, honey? James, can I buy you anything? Brian, thank you for getting your store all back together after that miserable fire.
Well, you're very welcome. I'm glad to be open.
Yes.
Missed everybody.
Yes. This is a Ford
Fusion.
Ford Fusion.
2010.
And it's $25,000. 2010. Now there, everybody. How are you today? Did you have good time down at the seniors? Seniors, wonderful. Institution. I want to report to you the latest on Norman Schaffer and so-called Pittsfield Community TV. Greystone Gardens, which is a business that has been in Pittsfield for 28 years, longer than Pittsfield Community TV. Much longer. So we did a very appealing show, half hour, on Greystone Gardens. It's the story of a woman named Carla Lund who struggled and persevered and labored arduously to establish that business and to keep it open at a time when there were just 2 stores open on that section of North Street. Everything else was vacant. And she weathered that storm. And now there are other stores opening up all the way around there. But for a long time, she and the Lantern were the only 2 businesses there. It's a wonderful Pittsfield story. And it's a story of struggle, and it's a story of success, which is what a chat with Glendora is usually about. There's a desire, there's a struggle. There's a question whether you're going to make it or not. And then you meet the challenge, and you make it. Well, she did, Carla Lund. So we did this story on videotape, Greg Washburn and myself. In Pittsfield Community TV, their website says, extols freedom of speech. But their conduct is the antithesis of that. And they demand that a Pittsfield native hand in the program. Okay, well, we did that. But that wasn't enough. They demand that a person go on camera, do what they so-called a wraparound, which is misuse of the word, of the phrase, and come on and say something to the effect that I am a Pittsfield native and I am the local signer for a chat with Glendora. And tonight, a chat with Glendora is about so-and-so. Then comes the program as I videotaped it, and I constructed it, and I created it. And then at the end, this Pittsfield resident has to come on and say, are there any questions or comments? If there are, call me. And demand that the person put up his home number. That's an out-and-out violation of privacy. It's an insane demand. It's categorically anti-constitutional. And where they ever got the idea beats me. Some crooked screwball lawyer, probably. And so, Greystone Gardens, which is, it's a lovely show. You've got to see it. It's fashions way back, way farther than the 1900s, into the 1800s. Gowns, and party dresses, and dancing dresses, and weddings. It's really a fascinating collection. But I've said all that in my half-hour program, and shown all that. So there's 4 people who work at Greystone Gardens, and only one of them is a Pittsfield native, and that is Gloria. And she cheerfully went down to see Mr. Schaffer and told him that she wanted this show cablecast. And he says, oh, you got to do a live wraparound, quote unquote. And you've got to put your telephone number at the end. And here's some examples of live wraparound he showed her. Well, she came back and she told Carla Lund, the owner, and she told me, Glendora, that she wasn't going to put her home telephone number on the TV screen. I've had mine on for 37 years and nothing's ever happened. But anyway, she was opposed to it. I couldn't believe that I thought she had it wrong, that they insisted on her home number being there. Why didn't he put the store number there? So she wasn't going to do it. And she talked to me about it, and she talked to Carla about it. And I told her lots of things, that she was right and that Norman Schaffer was wrong. And she says, she prayed and she said, I'll go back. So she went back and she found out that indeed he was demanding that she put her home telephone number on the screen, on this so-called wraparound. So she won't have anything more to do with it. I said to her, if he had not required you to put your home telephone number on videotape on the cable system, would you have done it? Otherwise? Yes. Yes, I would have done it. I would have done the so-called live wraparound. I would have. So you see what Mr. Norman Schaffer has done? He has limited and prohibited public access. And so they, in hypocrisy, on their website, they talk about freedom of speech. And what has he done? He has violently violated the First Amendment of the Constitution of the United States. And I don't care whether he lives in Pittsfield or what state he lives in. In questions of free speech, federal law prevails. Now you can only apply the First Amendment, folks, to somebody who is a state actor. Do you know what a state actor is? A state actor is simply somebody who works for a government, a municipality, a state, a federal. So the First Amendment applies, which in the First Amendment guarantees 5 rights. What are they? I've told you over and over again. What are they? Right, religion. What's next? Press. This is a matter of freedom of the press. I'm getting a story out. And freedom of speech. This is a matter of free speech. And the other two, peaceful assembly and the right to petition your government for redress of wrong. I will do that if I have to. I will petition my government for redress of wrong, if I have to. This is a very, very interesting challenge. I'm acerbated by it, but at the same time, it's a call. It's a call from America to America. If I were to go to the public park in Pittsfield and stand on a soapbox and say what I wanted to say, as long as it wasn't obscene and as long as it wasn't libelous or slanderous, it should be. Libel is writing, slander is spoken. Nobody could come up to me and say, you have to have a live wraparound. Nobody could do that. Now, similarly, on television, nobody can do that. You cannot say to me, I have to have a live wraparound, because I have freedom of speech. We are a forum. We are a traditional forum. When I say we, I'm talking about public access television. We are a forum, a traditional forum, and a designated forum. Title 47, the United States Code, Section 521 et sequitur, states that we are an electronic soapbox. You can't be more public forum than that. So we are a designated public forum, and we are a traditional public forum because public access has existed for 37 years. And I've been doing public access for 37 years. So here's a federal violation, again, of Title 47 of the United States Code, Section 521. And it's a federal case not only because of federal question, but because it's interstate. I'm in New York and Mr. Schaffer is in Massachusetts. So that makes it a federal case. It's what you call diversity of citizenship. Citizen of New York against citizen of Massachusetts. So here's what I've decided to do, or try, or at least I'm praying about it. So I'll get a hold of Michelle Hambling, meet her at the Christian Center, and say, Michelle, we will continue our agreement that you will be my local Pittsfield signer, and I will videotape you, Michelle, saying something to the effect, I'm Michelle Hambling, and I'm here as the local signer for A Chat with Glendora. I've seen many of her shows. She's trying to do what is right on television, and tonight's show is about Greystone Gardens, a local Pittsfield business for 28 years, weathering the storm, weathering the exit of General Electric from Pittsfield. And Michelle Hambling will say, I'm a resident of Pittsfield. Then at the end she will say, I hope you enjoyed tonight's show. If you have any comments or questions, please call me. And Michelle has no objection to giving her number. Nor do I. And I've done it for 37 years, and nothing evil has ever happened to me. Now, let's go to the First Methodist Church. Pittsfield Community TV's agreement. I filled it out for him. I asked him to sign it. I said there's something going around about there being a membership here, and that absolutely isn't forbidden. Public access is public. It's not a country club. It's not a membership. It's public. You make it a membership and you made it private. So that's another violation. And another one, let me throw in, is that they're discriminating against me. And the law is clearly, federal, state, and municipal, that public access shall be administered upon a first-come, non-discriminatory basis. That is just as clear black and white law as you can get. Anyway, and I also gave Dr. Benavides, Reverend Benavides, $25 donation for the First Methodist Church. I do as much as I can giving donations to churches. So many of them. And I gave him the $15 membership. Even though it's wrong, I gave it to him. And went through with it. Because I certainly can't sue. Nor and the